Welcome to the Coffee with Karen podcast, a weekly chat show discussing everything from holistic health to current affairs from a mental, physical, and spiritual perspective. Get your weekly cup of positivity with a sprinkling of woo-woo.
So welcome to the show. It's Monday today, and this is going out live on Mintwave Radio. You can ask Alexa for Mintwave Radio or go to the website karenrobertscoaching.com/Mintwave-radio. Or if it's via podcast, you can download the app for Apple and Android on the same page, and feel free to subscribe to any of the podcasts on our network that take your fancy. So today's episode is 151, and today we have Sabine, who is a certified NLP and life coach. Now, today's show, we're going to be talking a bit about spiritual ascension, ancestors, chi string from corporate to spiritual business. So there's definitely a lot of woo. I'm your host, Karen Roberts. I'm helping coaches and therapists to get their message heard to the people who need to hear it. So, first of all, welcome to the show, Sabine.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you for receiving me. I'm very happy to be there with you today.
Awesome. And if you'd like to, first of all, share with the audience where you're from and where you are now.
Okay, I'm quite far in comparison to where I was before. Okay, I'm Sabine from Belgium. And just to make the story very short, I was in finance, exactly a finance manager for more than 18 years. I came in Dubai for my career in finance, but at that moment, I was already between, not really knowing if I have to embrace my calling or stay in finance. And I think everyone has this big question one day in life. What do I do? What do I need to do next? Do I stay where I am? Do I change? And that's what happened mainly to me, and that leads me to what I do today. And I have my established company here in Dubai, which is not in finance anymore. Like you said, I'm a certified coach and NLP. I'm also an animal communicator, among many other things, and a transpersonal therapist. Yeah.
And a transformational therapist, is that what you said?
Transpersonal therapist.
Transpersonal. Oh, could you share with the audience a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, exactly. Mainly, the transpersonal regression therapy is a technique that we use to help people to go back into the root of the trauma, into the root of what is disturbing them today. For example, you can have repetitive patterns. I will give you a very precise example that I had with one of my clients, then you will understand directly what it is and how it can help you. This person has been divorced 2 times. And the third time she met someone, she was not married, but the guy left exactly in the same situation, meaning abandoning her for another woman. Every time it was the same situation. She ended up alone with 2 daughters. For many women, this is a very difficult situation. But where you need to focus your attention is on the fact that this person mentioned to me, they abandoned me always for the same type of woman. Very typical type of women. And I was like, interesting. Then what we have done is really asking the following question. When was the last time you felt abandoned? Of course, now I'm taking the very short way for you to understand. I will not go in detail in a session. Of course, I place the person in the right setup to be relaxed and to be able to listen the emotion that manifest into the body. But here I will make it very, I would say maximum 10 minutes, not more than that. You will have all the story. And I asked the person, okay, now go back in time when for the first time you had exactly the same feeling of being abandoned. But don't think about the men of your life, the 3 men that you had who abandoned you. Just stay with the emotion. She went back at the age of, I think, 6 or 7 years old, when she has been somehow abandoned by her father, the love of her life. And he left for that specific type of women, which I will not describe physically and the type of character. And at the moment when the father left, she was hidden under the sofa. She could see and she could hear everything that was happening between her and the mother. She was at the age where we can understand certain things. We don't get the full pictures, but she was, I would say, grown enough to understand. And then this has been stuck in her system as an emotion, and she has made somehow the decision, this will not happen to me. I will do everything possible. But the problem was she already created the belief system, the limiting belief system, because of that situation. And just by asking this simple question, we went there. We started to do the energy exchange, because what she has done at that precise moment is absorbing the energy through the dispute of both parents. From the mother, the pain of the mother, the despair and everything was embedded in her, like an energetic blockage that she couldn't see, but she felt. And the blockage that she felt somehow was spreading towards other people, meaning her vibration had a certain, I would say, message that she was spreading to other men without even realizing. And somehow, I will exaggerate here, the message was, don't keep me, leave me, abandon me. You get the point? But I'm going very short because I don't have time to explain in real detail. But this stayed stuck. And the worst was she lost a part of her. She has been broken that day, meaning some soul fragments, some fragment of her soul stayed in the situation, which was frozen there in time. And we had to retrieve the soul fragment to help her to be complete and whole again regarding that situation. And also bring back the energy and the emotion she has lost that day, that probably she gave to the parents out of despair, trying to help or trying to keep the father with her. From that day, she never saw her father. The father died. She was an adult, and she just learned, okay, he's dead. That's it. End of story. After that session, she started to attract totally different men, not the same type of men anymore.
There you go. This is all, it's not obviously conscious. This is all subconscious.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is it. We are just all energy. And how often do you see this? I bet you see this a lot, a sort of similar kind of story, because everyone is going to have some kind of trauma from their childhood. It doesn't have to be as extreme as the father leaving. It could have been a conversation. It could have something one of their friends said when they were young and they took it to heart. Isn't it interesting that we all need to heal from certain things in our past, because it might be affecting us now, but completely unconscious, right?
That's correct. Yeah. And this is happening almost every day to many people. I could tell you many cases like that. Yeah. Even, and this is a very deep issue, with women who are not comfortable in intimacy. Sometimes we believe it's coming out of nowhere. No. It can come from the very first time of your first sexual encounter. And it can come also from what you heard in the family, what you felt, what is hidden. Sometimes they have secret in the family. Like one woman, let's say, clearly has been raped, your grandmother, grandmother, into the ancestral lineage. And let's say my client as a little girl, I'm saying cases that I had in reality, feel that but doesn't know what is going on. She's really uncomfortable in intimacy. She can't explain. When you ask her, have you been abused, molested? No, never. Totally fine. Do you have this, that? No, I'm totally fine. And that day, I've been guided intuitively to go directly into the ancestral lineage. And I guided the person and said, okay, now invite your own mother into the room, because we created like a healing temple for her. That was the healing room. We invited the mother inside the room as an energy. Of course, we work always with energy. And then we asked the mother, but the energy, not the persona, because the persona is also a different things. Then the mother didn't seem to have anything, but she was carrying something in her that didn't belong to her. Then I said, okay, bring the grandmother. Let's see on the father side, let's see on the mother side what is going on. We had a long line of people, especially women, and we went back 5 generations where one has been excised. We say in English, excised when we cut the woman. I say excision. I think that's, I don't know if I pronounce well, excision. When we cut the woman.
What's the word for it?
I
Genital.
excision. Yeah, excision, the word. I'm not sure about the name. But anyway, I will not say the word because we are public. What is cutting the stuff of the woman?
She's been cut, yes.
Exactly. And the grandmother has been cut. From that day. She was numb. It was trauma for her. But she got children, of course, because at that time, ancient time, many things happened that doesn't happen today. The fact was that woman died with that. It was not a secret at that time, but into the coming generation, it became somehow like a secret because she didn't know that this happened to her grandmother. She learned that through the session with me. Then we healed that, but we healed also the grandmother. We entered in contact because energy never dies. Even if you heal your ancestor, you can contact them energetically. And we went to heal that woman. And then when the woman was healed, we passed back the energy through my client. And what she had absorbed through her DNA, because that was carried into the DNA because it's ancestral lineage. We send it back, all that energy also to the grandmother. From that day, my client was free. Sometimes you need more sessions, but in that case, it was only 1 session and she was free. This didn't belong to her and somehow belonged to her because she was carrying in the DNA. Yeah.
So this whole idea of ancestral healing. So what you're saying is it's things that could happen in your lineage,
yeah.
and it is going to affect. I can remember hearing that, that say the slaves, because it went on for so long, 400 years, that it actually changed the DNA of people now, which I find quite interesting, because that would be my ancestral lineage, and it's quite a crazy idea to think that all this stuff can actually be passed down so completely, obviously unconscious. I'm not aware, but it can affect your whole DNA, and it can have an effect on your day-to-day life. And that's quite a lot. That's quite a big pill to swallow, I'm sure, for many people. But like you say, it's all energy, and energy can't be created or destroyed. It is. And did this person, did they have children themselves?
Not yet. When we did the session, she didn't have children.
So now she's healed.
Married woman.
So now she's healed. If she were to have children, then it wouldn't have been passed down to the child. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. Yes, 100%. It stopped there. That's the beauty of it. Because when you go to heal your ancestor, you heal the future lineage.
Wow. Always. And so how did this really have an effect on her day-to-day life after that?
She was liberated. Believe me. Especially as a young married woman, they had many things that was blocking her. He was very patient with her. And he came with her in the session, by the way. And he was there assisting because he was really concerned. And he is the one, often we say women are intuitive, but that man was really intuitive. And he was not my client before, but he assisted to a free meditation I have done. And that's how he knew me. And he called me and he asked me, Sabine, do you think that we can do this, etc.? I said, yes, come with her. Say, are you sure I can come? Say, yes, you are welcome to come with her. If she is open to share in front of you, no problem. It's even better because the situation was concerning both of them.
Well, that
was a
makes sense with a
beautiful
lot of people. With a lot of people, I would have thought if more
Yeah.
can be involved, then the whole healing process is going to be a lot. Yeah. You don't just help human beings, do you, Sabine? As you just mentioned, you also do a lot of work with animals.
That's
So could
correct.
you share a little bit about what you do there?
I do animal communication, which is involving heart-to-heart communication and mind-to-mind communication, more precisely, telepathic communication. I can hear the thought of animal. They can transfer to me some feelings. I can feel their pain in my body, which I feel the same with human when I do energy healing. I call it soul healing. This is what I do today. But with animal is the same. They can transfer the pain to me to tell me, okay, this is what I feel. That's the place. This is the intensity, which is helping a lot for the owner and me to describe, okay, this is what is happening now. Animal communication can help in many different ways. First, everyone can learn that. Often people think, oh my God, what is that? You need to be born with this. No, it's not a gift for certain people. That's not true. It's for everyone. Everyone has this inside. We are born, it's our soul. Finally, it's a soul to soul communication. And I want to say to people, it's like a rusty muscle that you don't use. It's the same when you go to the gym and you want to have a six pack. Will not come in 3 days, even in 1 month. You need to train yourself. Animal communication is exactly the same. And the beauty of animal communication, it's helping you to have a deep bonding with your animal. Before surgery, you can ask, before going to the vet, even for vet, would be an amazing things to learn for them because sometimes they get lost. They have all the tools for doing diagnostic and everything, but this is an amazing tools because you can get some answer that don't make sense, I would say, when you use the machine, blood test and everything. This is the beauty of it. And one of the, I would say, most unbelievable story I can say today was with a dog and a person who was anorexic. The person who is anorexic, of course, will not say it's a difficult situation when you are there. And she was in the middle of the divorce. This is why she became anorexic also. She went to the vet. To make the story very short, after the vet says your dog is perfectly fine, it was a nice little fluffy dog. Nothing wrong. But the dog doesn't eat. The dog stopped eating for 7 days, which is an emergency at that moment. Something is wrong. They did what they could do, put the dog on fluid and everything to maintain the dog. Finally, she contacted me and she said, do you think you can do something? Can you ask my dog why it doesn't want to eat? To eat. Okay, we started the session with the animal, and I asked, the dog at the beginning was a bit closed, didn't want to communicate. And funnily, I mentioned this because at the end of the session, I discovered why the dog was closed, why the dog didn't want to communicate at the beginning and was really like, leave me alone, stay there. Because the woman was like that. He was simply mirroring the situation. And by not eating, he was mirroring what is going on in her life to force her to eat somehow. They are amazing because they sacrifice themselves to a deep level. They are ready to die, simply as if for us, to help us to heal, to help us to cope with the situation. And when finally the dog answered to my question, when he started to be more relaxed, because I've done energy healing also on him, the dog said, why would I eat if she doesn't eat? Doesn't make sense. I don't feel I need to eat. I'm not feeling hungry. Okay. Then I asked the person, of course, the person at the beginning was not willing to share with me because it's a shame somehow to admit to a just animal communicator what is going on in your life, because I was entering in her private life at the end of the day. But finally, she broke the big shell she has built it, and she started to share with me what was going on. And I said to her, listen, the only solution we have now is you need to force yourself to eat. She said, I can't. Say, I'm sorry, but if you don't do this, your dog will not eat and he will die. I had to be very direct with her because that was the reality. And I explained to her how to speak with her dog and everything to come back to an harmonious situation where they could eat together. The dog
Right.
didn't eat the same day and the day after, even she started to eat small pieces like that because the dog didn't trust. And the dog said, I want to see if she will continue and then I will eat. Because she called me back after and she said, can you ask him? Because yesterday I've eaten and he still doesn't eat. I'm like, he's waiting. He's waiting to make sure
Wow.
he will come back on track. See?
So they're taking on your pain. That's what it sounds. That's what it's.
Yes, they mirror everything of what is happening in your life. They take on your pain. They absorb everything
So
because they
that's
are full of
unconditional love.
unconditional love. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Wow. So
amazing.
for you, you're just covering such a phenomenally wide area, a little bit more than just a certified NLP and life coach. I would like to say that I'm sure there's not many. I've spoken to many who do NLP and are life coaches, and they certainly don't do that. However, what you just said there, again, I find it just this whole thing really fascinating, that it's not a gift. Everybody has the ability to
Yeah.
do this, because if you're in tune
Yeah.
with energy, you're in tune with energy. But it's just that we've
Yes.
somehow forgotten the how to. So what was your story? How did you find out that you were in tune with this?
I found out I was between 6 and 7 years old after a dispute with my mom. My situation is a bit different, I would say, because I discovered that as a child. But I shut down this for many years because when I revealed to my mom that I heard the cow speaking to me while I was crying after I had a dispute with her. Children, they cry a lot, and mom is shouting because we do stuff, whatever. And she looked at me and said, don't say that to anyone. I'm telling you, animals don't speak. This is not possible. They are just animals, no more than that. If you want to believe this is okay, but I can't believe this, and please don't say that to anyone because they will laugh at you. And I tried again after, and I came back saying, Mom, the horse also, and my dog, and the cat. And she started to close completely, becoming really upset. No, you stop now. This is not acceptable. That's not possible. I'm telling you, animals don't speak. It's impossible to communicate with animals. They are just animals. Now you stop, and I don't want to hear anything anymore. Imagine the child at that moment. Finished. I shut down everything for many years. And it's only later on, when I've been to a spiritual center with a friend of mine, that someone revealed to me, say, Sabine, you have this and that. I thought, oh, okay. It was mediumship at that spiritual center. And the person addressed to me a message. And she said, you need to stop now. We do development course. You can come here and you can practice with us because it's there. You don't need to work a lot because you have it already developed. Then you don't need even to develop like other people. It will go faster because it's there. It's just dormant. And that's the moment when I started to awaken and believe, wow, yes, it's possible. It's existing. That's not BS. Yeah. But
You hear
again, I
this a
was
lot.
hiding. I didn't say to anyone that I was doing under the table. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard this a lot, especially with people who are psychic, have any kind of these sort of abilities, is that Yes, when they were a child, they were told, and I suppose it has all been conditioned out of everybody. If you look like just even daydreaming, looking out the window, your teacher tells you to stop and focus. So it's the whole intuitive thing has been pushed out of everybody because it doesn't exist. And we're told how things are and to stop that silliness. So no wonder people disconnect with it. So now you are obviously following your path. So you are back in, because that's a massive change, isn't it, from the financial world into this. Now that must have been quite a big step for you to actually do that. What for you was the real turning point? You've said that when you were in Dubai, yeah, you were on that, but you weren't happy. And so you made that. But what was the real flip for you that made you make the decision to follow this properly?
Okay. The decision has been made because somehow I didn't have the choice. In a way that since 2-3 years before coming to Dubai, I had many burnout. I had many depression in the past while I was working in finance. But like many people, and also I need to mention I was a single mother at that time. I needed to earn money. Really, at that moment for me was a need, and I was believing I need to stay there. Like many people are still believing 9 to 5 job. And I was in that path with my blinder like that. But my heart was not happy, and my body was telling me doesn't work anymore, this is not okay. Also with the management many things changed. I changed companies 2 times in the last 3 years before coming to Dubai. And I remember even changing company, thinking that my life would be better by changing companies. No way, it was time to change. But I didn't want to admit that was the big difference. Then I had the opportunity in my private life to change everything and come here in Dubai. Say, let's go start a career in finance in Dubai. Why not? I was in Luxembourg into a financial place. I came into Dubai, which is also a financial place. Say, nice. I didn't stay long because I realized it was exactly the same. It was me who was not happy in what I was doing. It was the end of the story, but I didn't want to admit that. And during the transition, believe me, it has been tough for me to pass from finance manager, that field also with high ego. What I do today, your ego, you need to put it on the trash bin. It doesn't work if you keep your ego. Then you need to become a different person from A to Z, I would say. And that was the most difficult part. Accepting that I need to introduce myself. I'm a healer. I'm an animal communicator. Oh, this is low level. That's what I was saying at the beginning. I was like, no, this is good for yoga retreat. Imagine the mental work I had to do on myself and the inner work to accept, to say to people, yes, hello, my name is Sabine and I'm a healer. My name is Sabine. I'm an animal communicator. My name is Sabine. I'm hypnotherapist because that's what I started first. I've done course in hypnotherapy and then I grow and then NLP and everything. It was impossible for me to present myself. And what I was doing, I had 2 business cards. I was going into business meeting. For some people, Sabine finance manager. For others, Sabine animal communicator. Until I was like, doesn't make sense. Really, it doesn't make sense. I was like with 2 different personalities trying to embrace each other. That was difficult. Finally, I've been forced to do a deep inner work and I lost my job.
Isn't that
No,
funny? The universe gave you a nudge, Sabine.
no coincidence. No coincidence. At that moment, I
Yeah.
was not happy, but no coincidence in life. And then I searched for another job. Nothing. The salary that they were proposing me was almost the half. What is going on here? That was not normal because before they were chasing me from one company to go to another one, and it's me who was saying no. Like, wow, things are changing. But the universe was pushing me to embrace somehow my calling. But I was again putting a block towards my future. This is why my beginning into holistic therapies, healing, and everything has been difficult only because I was not ready to let go of my etiquette, my ego name as Sabine, finance manager. You get the point? This was really, wow, something for me. Then when I started to do the deep inner work, I finally accepted and I was like, yeah, healer, that's nice. It's respectable. You see how it started to change. And then I became really comfortable to introduce myself to people. Otherwise, yes, I was doing healing on animal, on people, helping people. I was happy to do it because I felt this was filling my heart. I had a satisfaction by doing this that I didn't have in finance at the end. But still introducing myself and do a website, oh my God, I struggled for 3 years until finally the coins fall down. And I was like, okay, this is me now. And today I have no problem to say who I am to each and every one. But the beginning was wow. And I'm sure for many people, when you change career from, in my case, finance manager to animal communicator or healer or whatever, it's like another world. And today they have many people who are doing that, changing from one career to another one, and they change world. It's always difficult, but I want to say, embrace it fully because this is who I am. If the universe is giving you, signs that, okay, we close the door now, you need to take another direction, it's because this is your calling. Just listen your heart. Often we don't listen our heart. And that was my mistake. This is why I struggled. I listened my ego first. And when I started to listen my heart, whoop, all the doors started to open, and it's the same for everyone.
Oh, yes, I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. I know for me personally, I come from the fitness world, teaching fitness 25 years, 27 years a sports therapist. Now, I went back because I was doing online coaching and the company got shut down. So I reverted back into safety, thinking this is what I should do. And like you say, when it's because you're doing it for the money, even though I was a healer, not in a spiritual sense, it was very physical, but I did get a lot of job satisfaction from it, but it wasn't my journey. And the universe literally gave me a nudge. And when I say a nudge, I was drunk at my friend's house, my birthday as well. We had the same day. And I was leaving to get a cab. My daughters were in front of me. And I tripped out of their front door. Not I've been in that house a million times before. I know where that step is. And I laughed because I'd just recovered from an ankle injury. So I said, oh, at least I haven't broken my ankle. Rolled over. And the only thing that was wrong, and I'm left-handed, a sports therapist, I need my thumb. That's all I need. My left thumb was fully dislocated. So in the wrong direction. And more to the point, I should have known after 27 years of doing it not to force it back. But because I was drunk and I didn't want my daughters to see it, doesn't look great, I forced it back. If that wasn't the universe going, there you go, you can't do that job now. You can't revert back into safety. You're meant to be going this way. But isn't it funny? We don't, like you said, we don't listen because the universe does give us signs. And quite often, I love what you said there. It is the ego. It was my ego because I thought, like you said earlier, about I've got to make money. I'm a single mum of 2 girls. I've got to earn money. So I've got to go back to what I was doing rather than forging ahead. It's so fascinating because I hear this again and again. And I remember a coach telling me, Karen, if you're not going to listen, things will happen. It's almost like your life will implode, and it's right, until I made the decision to follow my heart. I just find that amazing. And even somebody like yourself, isn't it funny that you could probably see it in other people as a therapist, but you weren't listening to it yourself?
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. We've talked about ancestral healing. We've talked about the animal communication. Let's move into, I think it was spiritual ascension was another thing you were going to discuss. So what do you mean? What do you mean?
Okay. What do I mean by spiritual ascension? Is growing yourself from inside. More precisely, they have a time in your life where you start to awaken. Some people will awaken very fast and realize that they are not where they need to be, and they have much more than the physical body. They have much more than the material world we are in. And that's when you start to realize this, you do your own research, and that's the pathway to ascension. And that's the moment when you start to seek growing spiritually, really knowing who you are from inside, because we are a soul incarnated into a physical body. Our physical body is material, is the matters, but how the physical body is working, they have a hidden, let's say like that, consciousness or invisible consciousness that give us messages for the body work. And this awakening, I would say, this path through ascension help you to discover you through essence, who you really are, because you are much more than this body. You are much more than your name. And you discover your power. When you start to embrace the path of ascension, of course, you need to do what we call the shadow work to remove your heavy stuff, to help you to hold much more light. But that's the moment when you are capable. I'm making short because it's much more complex than that. And I know we don't have enough time to explain everything. This is why I'm cutting some ways, let's say like that. I'm trying to be very short. Let's go back. When you have done your shadow work, that's what we call it, to remove what is heavy on you, you start to hold more light inside your being. And that's the moment when you can finally use your true potential. You can be authentic with yourself, but also you can start to feel much more things. And your desires start to change, and you realize that you are capable to manifest things by the power of your thought. And this is where, when you arrive at the pathway to ascension is quite a long way for some people. For others, it will be shorter. But when you are sufficient, I will say in a different way. My English words sometimes are really funny. When you have developed yourself enough spiritually and you are capable to hold more light, you feel you are sufficient to yourself. You don't go to seek outside to get something, because it's inside you. And that's the moment when you can say, wow, I'm happy. I'm here, I'm happy. I don't need that around me or that person around me to feel happy. I'm just content and I'm feeling complete. That's the moment you can say, wow, I have done my ascension and I'm awake spiritually today. I'm making very short.
Love that. But it's all about going within, isn't it? It's all about going within. And we have everything that we need within us to be happy, that's our default. But we put so many things on us, but in the external, to affect it. It's just, why weren't we taught this? Why didn't anybody tell us, Sabine, when we were younger? Why was it knocked out of us? So how does this all link with, how would you say this all links with people in business? You come from the corporate arena, and now this is what you're doing. But look, anybody in business would benefit from going through the healing process, wouldn't they? How does this directly relate to business?
Let's say from the moment you embrace your spirituality, but I will say in a very practical words, because embracing your spirituality means also healing first. And then you start to understand in a better way what is really going on in the universe. What you can't see, you start to feel. For business, let's say some people are working like donkey in their own business. They kill, literally, they kill themselves working day and night to get money. But when you are awakened and when you go through the path of healing, you realize that you can manifest the right client you want at the right time you want. Yes, when you start, this is not possible. You need to do a lot of healing to remove that heavy stuff I spoke about before, doing your shadow work. But how does it apply in your business is that you will start your work in a way that you feel even you don't work. It's a pleasure. You will not work like a donkey and get only teeny pennies, teeny coins, and struggling to pay employees, struggling to pay your taxes and everything. And finally say to yourself, oh my God, I'm an entrepreneur today, but I was more at peace when I was an employee. No, you just need to embrace that path, do your inner work, embrace the spirituality and mix it with your business. You will see your business flourishing like you see a lotus flower opening. Of course, it will not happen in one day, but that's the path. And I would say in the future, you will see that many entrepreneurs will start to embrace spirituality and apply spirituality in their business to work less, to make their life easier, to have even better result instead of working like a donkey, and have a better health and being content, being happy, and attracting only the type of client or customer that they want, because not everyone will match with you. Even me, sometimes at the beginning of my career here in holistic stuff and spiritual, let's say like this, as sometimes I was attracting people and I was like, no, that's not what I want, because I feel I can't help them. They were not ready. Some people will need someone different than me, because I'm the type of person who likes to go tack, tack, tack. Of course, finance background, huh? This stays tack, tack, tack. But I like to go fast because I've been trained that way in finance. It can be a quality for some of my clients, but can be a big default for others. Then sometimes I was attracting people who likes to go slowly, who needs to go slowly also. But that's not my type. I like to, go, move. That's my style. Then I was like, something is not working here. Then I had to do inner work on myself to work with the universe and manifesting in a different way. Do not struggle with clients that were coming to me where we do 1, 2, 3, 10, 20 sessions for nothing. They are still at the same point. No way. That's not for me. That's not good for them. And that's what I mean, embracing spirituality in your business to be able to manifest exactly what is resonating with you, with who you are. And then you will be happy. You will have exactly what you need. And your client will be happier too, because they will feel they are with the right person. And that's what is happening to me. For the moment, I'm just attracting people who are ready to work with me and who like to go fast, or who has very deep issue, not light stuff, because I like also to dig, but this is coming also from my finance background. I like to dig deeper. That's my personality. But I attracted what I love, because I enjoy when I work with that type of client. And they are happy because that's what they were searching for. And that's how you can embrace both your business with the spirituality to manifest what you want and work less.
I love that. I love that. See, it's not just a sprinkling of woo. It needs to be a complete mix, doesn't it? The mental, the physical, the spiritual. And I do think, or maybe it's, again, the type of people we're attracting, but I do think people are coming to that conclusion now. They're realizing that, I think with all the madness of the last few years as well, has actually helped, because it was a terrible time and it's forced people, because they were just on the go, forced people to stop and think and go within maybe a little bit more and search. So I do feel that people are going to embrace all aspects, which, yeah, I would agree. That's when they're going to absolutely flourish. Yeah, love it. Love what you do, Sabine.
Thank
So
you.
you're in Dubai. That's a big change from Belgium as well. So you've had some massive changes in your life. And I really think that is an inspiration to many, because so many people do get scared. It all comes from fear, doesn't it?
Yes.
The scarcity mindset, the fear to change careers. But you've had such a massive jump, but also such massive transformations, which is amazing. And I agree with you totally with regards to, yeah, just attract your right person with our own directory. That was why I wanted to do it, because I felt that through interviewing people like yourself, I think, well, not that there is no competition anyway, but this person works like this, and this is what they're helping people with, and this person over here is doing something different. No one's in competition. The public, the people can come and find the right fit for them. Because, like you say, you might not be the right coach for some people. You'd be a great coach for me, actually. Every coach that I've had in the past, they were the right person for me at that time with my level of awareness at that time. And this is what I just think most people, they're just not quite getting. They've got this scarcity mindset going on, and that's stopping them. That's going to have a block, isn't it, on their own success? Whereas collaborations and joint venture and just getting out there and finding it's okay, finding the right fit for them. For the listeners out there that I'm sure will be fascinated with your story and everything that you do, because this is this is the beauty, right? It's unique to you, Sabine.
That's
Like
correct.
we said at the beginning, CERTA, I should not have introduced you as just a certified NLP and life coach. But again, that's what you have on your bio. That's what we think we should be putting out there first, right? For the listeners out there thinking, oh, this sounds really interesting, I'd like to maybe have a chat with Sabine. How will they contact you? How can they get in front of you?
You can find me through my website, www.sabinetherapies, written like behind me on that side. .com.
So,
I'm also on Facebook and Instagram under my name, Sabine Poncelet.
awesome. And so, yeah, get in touch if this has intrigued you. Yeah, I love what you do. So, thank you so much for your time today. It's been fascinating where we've gone from ancestral healing to spiritual ascension. We've dealt with how it affects people in business, animal communication. This really is quite a mixture of things that you have the gift for and that you're helping your community. Yeah, thank you for your time today. And for the rest of the audience, I'll be back tomorrow, so not long. And if there are any other coaches, consultants, therapists, or healers out there that, if you want to get your message heard, feel free to come and visit my website. If you want to be a guest on the show, if you would like to host your own show, I know it's not for everybody, but if you would like a slot on Mintwave radio station or to have your own podcast channel, then please get in touch. Or if you are simply, because many therapists and healers, and like you said, Sabine, yourself, like in the beginning, it was very difficult for you to even market what you do, because as a healer yourself, very good at giving, and maybe you weren't as good as at receiving at that point, even with your financial background, because it was interesting, like you said about this, it's when you accepted, because there was obviously some resistance, you didn't feel comfortable about putting yourself out there. And like you said, the doors open once you finally accepted that. So isn't it funny that it's always us in our own way, isn't it?
Oh, yes, we are the only one who create our success and our disaster. We are our own blockages. Sometimes also I hear from people, oh my God, that person did that, and it's because that one I have this, because of this. They blame the world. No, the world is what, but somehow is what you spread. You create your reality. And yes, sometimes you think people did that on you. But if they did it, it's because you allowed. Unconsciously, I agree, but you allowed because your energy was spreading that message. Your vibration, your personal vibration was vibrating this. Then, yes, you are your own block and your own success, only you, nobody else. And I'm the proof here because I'm telling you, I struggled for 3 years, like deep down, only because of my, I will say a word, blue, ego. And that's the
Yeah,
truth.
gotcha.
That's the truth. Yeah.
But I find that really funny because I would say the same with me. And I've always thought that I'm a heart-centered coach, but I realize now that it was still my ego. I still thought that I had to control this. And like you say, working like a donkey, I can relate to that. I've got to do this. I've got to take control rather than actually, going within. And I suppose it's a lot of this is based on trust. People think faith has got some religious connotation. It's just faith in the unseen. It's just faith in that and having that total acceptance. And it's always us. But so for some people, that's such a hard pill to swallow, isn't it? Because they want to stay in that blame game. I'd love to have blamed somebody for pushing me out of the door, but no, I couldn't blame anybody. It was me. I got drunk. Nobody forced it down my neck. It's always us. But it's so empowering when we do accept that, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Oh my God.
But I know some that could cause resistance in some people because they can look at the life. I didn't bring this in. But like you just said, it's not because you're a bad person. It's you didn't do it consciously. None of us do this consciously. Why would we self-sabotage our own success? This is all unconscious until we're aware of it. And then, of course that's empowering because then that's great because I don't have to try and change that person or that person. I can only change me.
You can't change anyone. You can only change yourself. And it's by changing yourself that people will react differently with you. And that's where everything is changing around you. But people don't change. You can't fix others. You can fix only yourself. And that's when you start to spread a different type of energy that people react because unconsciously they feel what you spread around. They feel your aura. Let's call it like that. Your aura is your energy, but it's changing. Then people will react differently. I see that every day with, for example, clients who don't feel worthy, who have the tendency to be abused and used by everyone, corporate, family. From the moment they heal the wound, because often is linked to wounded part of you, from the moment they have healed everything, they start to become complete again. I say that word a lot, but that's the reality. And they come back to me or they send me testimonials saying, Sabine, look, this happened. This is completely different. Or that guy who was rejecting me before, now he's behaving in a total different way. I'm like, yeah, because your energy is not the same. You send a different message to the universe. And of course, the universe is all the people on earth, they respond in a different way. End of story.
There you go. Love that. And that is what it is. I love that saying too. It is what it is. Whether you believe it or not, that is what's happening. And I suppose it's only when you can sit there and really be honest with yourself and look back at situations and you realize that it's all come from you. Again, no judgment, no, I was a bad, no, it's just, none of us know what we don't know. I mean, this whole thing is a journey. I'm learning. I'm learning because I get to speak to wonderful people like yourself. I'm learning so much. I come from such a physical based background. This whole thing for me just started from lockdown. So this whole sprinkling of woo-woo, this was probably subconsciously quite a selfish thing, really, because it was for me. I'm learning so much from speaking to people like yourself, and I love it. I'm in my element here. I love hearing the stories. I love hearing the transformations. And I love hearing that people like yourself are now following. You're on track. You are on purpose, and you're doing what you love, and you're successful with it too, which is inspiration to many out there who may be looking at taking that plunge, and to say it's okay. It's okay. Love that. So I'll say goodbye again. We went off again. Thank you for your time, and to everybody else, I will be back tomorrow with a coffee with Karen. Bye for now.
Coffee with Karen podcast, a weekly chat show discussing everything from holistic health to current affairs from a mental, physical and spiritual perspective. Get your weekly cup of positivity with a sprinkle